Welcome to Dateline Newtown, the show about and for the people of Newtown. Tonight we have a little bit different format. I've got Coach Bob Zito with me of Newtown High School football team. Coach, welcome to Dateline Newtown. First of all, I'd like to ask you, can you tell me a little bit about your background?
Certainly. Very happy to be here at Newtown number 1. Prior to coming to Newtown, I was one of the coaches down in Stratford High School, and I was involved with the Stratford school system for approximately 6 years. And prior to that, I was coaching down at St. Joseph's High School, where I started my coaching career and teaching career in 1975.
Tell me a little bit about the 4 seasons, what your record's been since you've been here. You've built the program up quite a bit.
Yeah, we got off to an auspicious start. My first ball game ever up here in Newtown, and we were defeated by New Fairfield. And then we got, I don't want to say lucky, but we went on a nice little run. And we ended up our first year winning a state championship with a victory over Ledyard High School. And then next year we went on we had a nice season, a 12-1 season. We lost in the state championship game. And then last year we had an undefeated season. We were 12-0, and we were class double M champions. So we've had very much success in my 3 years, and hopefully we can continue that this year.
Well, I guess that's the question that's on everybody's mind now, and I'm sure you're getting a lot of that, is how does the team look this year?
Well, it's a little tough to judge right now. If you ask me that question in about 3 weeks, I'd be able to give you a real good answer after we get a couple ball games under our belts. But we have a nice mixture this year of some veterans and some promising young players, and as soon as those young players get their feet wet, as they say, and hopefully respond positively, then I think we could have a good season.
Can you tell me a little about who you're going to be looking for this year to carry some of the load?
Well, we have a totally different makeup from last year's team, where we were very run-orientated. This season we lost quite a few great senior players that we had.
Who were some of the people you lost that played key roles last year?
I guess we start with the man everything was revolved around. That was Joe Lato, who set the school record for rushing, and just was the vital cog in our machine, so to speak. We're going to miss Joe tremendously. So we have to replace him, and I know not one man on our team can replace Joe. We also lost another one of our captains, Mike Naraki, and he was a very steadying influence for us up front. And we lost some other people who didn't have the big names and didn't get the quotes in the paper, but they were very integral with helping us with our outstanding record last year. So we have quite a bit to replace, and again, hopefully our system is in place where the young players can step right up and it's their turn to go.
So you'll be looking for more of a passing game this year rather than run-oriented?
Yeah, we are going to hope to put the ball up in the air perhaps 50% of the time in some games. We have a very promising young player in the name of Chris Petiti, who's going to be our quarterback this year, and we hope that...
What year is he in?
He's a sophomore. He's a sophomore, and we're asking a sophomore to do an awful lot for us. We realize that. But he is a very talented young man, and with some nurturing and keeping him healthy, we're looking for big things from Chris.
And who's he going to be throwing to? Who's going to be his primary receivers?
His primary receiver probably will be Rob Markin, who's a senior. And Rob, ironically enough, was our quarterback last year. And people are saying, has Coach Zito lost his head? Moving your quarterback who led you to 12 wins out of that position. Maybe I have lost my head. But we feel that Rob can do so many things for us. He's our fastest person on the team, and we think that with Chris throwing the ball to him, that we can make some things happen in a hurry.
You know, with the record you've compiled, I don't think too many people are going to say, have you lost your head? But if you lose your first 5 games, then I'm sure you know that
they're going to have my head.
They'll have your head too. And how about the running backs? Obviously, you're going to need some strong running game this year too.
Yeah, we are. We're going to be relying on a couple of key people. One of our captains, Matt Brimmer, is going to be one of our starting halfbacks. At fullback, we're going to have junior Eric Shantos, long line of Shantoses who've come through our program. And the other halfback looks like it's going to be Ed Richardson. So we feel that with the 3 of them in our offense, we should be able to get solid contributions, and hopefully one of those will emerge to maybe Joe Lato status.
Well, it sounds like if you got yourself set pretty much on offense, how about on the other end of the ball?
On defense, we hope to be real strong up front. 2 of our tackles are our captains, Ryan McCain and John Pavia, and we hope that those 2 will help lead that so-called front wall and do the job for us, and not let those running backs get past that line of scrimmage and shut them down right at the point of the attack.
Have you got a pretty good breakdown between underclassmen and freshmen and seniors and juniors, or what are you counting a lot on this year?
We have a mix, and that's where you like to see it. We're top heavy with our starters with seniors, okay, but we do have a few juniors in there, and we are starting, I believe it's going to be 3 sophomores. So a couple of the young kids, the sophomores, are going to be out there in the thick of things, and those juniors are ready to go. And I think it'll be a nice blend with our seniors.
Now, how about the special teams too? Obviously, in high school football, they play a very important role. How's your kicking, punting game looking, and special teams?
Well, we look real good in practice. We'll see.
That's what the Jets said too,
exactly.
Right?
It's a little different when you have an opponent breathing down your neck trying to block the punt or return that kickoff. But we feel we have a pretty good kicker in Ernie Badillo. And Ernie is our place kicker, and he'll handle all of our field goal attempts and extra points and our kickoffs. And he gets the ball down the field with a lot of accuracy. And
what are you comfortable with him inside the what yard line?
We'll let him kick this year probably from the 35-yard line in. And he's been showing that he's been very consistent from that range. So as opposed to the past where we usually would go for it on 4th and 3, you might see us kicking a lot more field goals this year, or attempting more field goals.
And what do you think about the conference too? Who's going to be your main opposition, and who's going to be your rival of yours?
The conference, I think, this year is probably more balanced than in the last 4 years or 3 years since I've been here. I don't think there's any real clear-cut favorite. I think after the first 3 weeks of the season, then I think that so-called favorite will emerge. But with the loss of graduation, a lot of skilled players from last year around the league, I think that it's going to be a very wide open race.
Are you able to do scouting on other teams, or is that really just in the college ranks?
Yeah, we get a chance to go out and see almost all of our opponents once, if not twice, sometimes 3 times, and we'll get a good look at all the teams that we're going to be playing down the road.
When's your first game, and when's your first home game too?
Our first game is also our first home game, which is on the 18th. It's Saturday, 1:30, and we have Wilby High School from Waterbury coming down. And Wilby, we played them last year, and it was a great opener for us. We handled them rather well. It was a great start for us, and this year we're not going to sneak up on them this year. I don't think they knew too much about us last year. And we went over to their place, and we took it to them. And this year, I think they're looking for a little revenge, and we have to respect them in their speed that they bring. So
what kind of scouting report do you got in there? They're going to be passing a lot, running game, is it?
They like to throw the ball a lot. They have some great speed at the wideouts, and their quarterback can put the ball down the field. He's a big kid. He's 6'5". You don't see too many high school quarterbacks who are that big. And he's going to cause some problems for us, and we're just going to have to make sure that we get some good penetration and put some pressure on him.
How do you like coaching in Newtown? Obviously, you've been here 4 years now. How do you like the town? How are the fans treating you? How are the...
It's a great place to go. I had a little apprehension coming up here, not knowing anything about the town or the school system, and I'll tell you, people here made me feel real comfortable. And the town here, the support has been tremendous. We're starting to get a nice crowd at our away games, and the home games. It's nice to turn around and see a full stadium in back of us.
How are your facilities there in Newtown? Are they?
They're fine.
I'll put you on the spot here.
Our playing surface could be redone without making any jabs at our town people, our Parks Department, because they are doing everything they can, but it's a surface which gets used quite a bit. Our band is on it more than the football team is on it, and it does get used quite often, and it's something which hopefully in the long range that it will be addressed, because should be our showcase field in the town, I feel.
How about, you've had such a success here, and I guess the concern with a lot of the people I talk to is that we're going to lose you sometime in the future, because it seems that every time someone's successful, they move on. And I'm not going to ask you if you're going to move on, but let me ask you on your long-term goals. Obviously you've been real successful here. Do you have goals of someday teaching in the college ranks or pros, or have you just sort of take it one step at a time? Or
yeah.
Or do you like coaching too? Let me ask you that. You're also the head of the athletic department there.
Yeah, coaching is my #1 love. I was a little disappointed when I didn't get the Giants position last year, but we'll keep on working here in Newtown. Now, I have no aspirations as to going to the college level right now, or any other level for that matter. I enjoy working with the high school youth. I think once you get out of the high school age, then you start getting into some other problems which are out there. Here we get a chance to, during my free period, I have a chance to have some of the players come in and sit down in my office and chat, where I think once you get into that upper level, the college level, where there's a distance between the players and the coaches, and I enjoy the closeness that we have at Newtown High School.
I mean, I get on a little bit more serious vein too. I mean, we hear about the whole issue of steroids with the college rank. Is there pressure on the kids today to use steroids to build themselves up, or do you see that at all? Or
it's something that we address as a team. We address it in our health curriculum also at the high school. But it's something which I know is out there, and the kids know is out there. And it's, if you read the papers, you'll find that it's even into the high schools, into the high school sports. And we tell the kids that if they work hard enough, it's going to take a little bit longer, okay, but they could get the same results in the weight room as if they, without the use of the drug. And the long-term effects of the drug do not outweigh the short-term benefits.
Have you heard about other teams using it, or other players using it, or is it really widespread?
Yeah, well, there was some use of it last year in a neighboring town. I don't think we have to mention that right now, but it is there, and it is right around us, and we've been sticking our head in the sand to think that it is not, or could not affect Newtown High School.
Right.
So we are vigilant on the drug use.
One of the things I know you've brought 3 of your players here, and actually we're going to ask them to come up here right now and join us. You've got 3 co-captains, John Pavia, Ryan McCain, and Matt Brimmer. If you guys like to come up here and join us and be on camera here. See, they did that in unison. That was nice. We're off to a good start here, too. John, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, what position you play, started off there, and what you're looking forward to this season, too.
John Pavia, number 78, tackle both ways, offense and defense.
How many years have you played on varsity ball?
This is maybe our 2nd year. Played nose guard last year.
And what do you see as your strengths? Speed, quickness, strength, all of the above?
Mostly strength,
And what are you considering a successful season this year?
Same things last year, undefeated, WCC and state champions.
Okay. Next we have Ryan. Ryan, will you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Ryan McCain. I'm number 72, and I also play both offensive and defensive tackle.
And what do you see as your strengths? Or
I think for a lineman, I have speed and quickness and strength.
Sound like you got it all there. Is there anything you need to work on, or?
I mean, I could get a little quick.
Coach, if you want to jump in here and have some comments about each of them too.
No, the only thing Ryan has to work on right now is that razor.
Okay, and last but not least is Matt.
I'm Matt Brimmer, halfback and outside linebacker, and I'd say my speed makes up for my size, and I got a lot of heart, I just don't stop.
And what position did you play halfback last year too?
No, I didn't play halfback last year, but I did play outside linebacker.
And you've been working on the halfback position?
Yeah.
Quite a bit too? And doing the training with the coach and everything like that?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Okay. What are you guys looking forward to as far as, do you guys have rivalries with another high school team? Is one game going to be more important? I know you're shooting for the ultimate championship. But is there a game out there that means probably something important to each of you guys?
We have a couple rivalries, I think. I think Bethel is probably our biggest rivalry. It's always been, past I don't know how many years, but that's always been a rivalry. And I think also New Fairfield is a pretty big rivalry. We always get really pumped up for that game, and it's a lot of,
Good size on those teams, or is that what you look forward to? Yeah. How about some of your goals too? Do you guys want to hoping to play football after high school, or is you sort of look forward to this season?
I personally hope to play in college.
Are you looking at a couple colleges now, or is this really too early too?
I'm gonna wait till after season.
Okay. How about the other guys, if you want to?
I'm not really sure. I think I'm not really big and stuff like that, you know, but maybe. I've been looking at schools and stuff, so.
Finally, John?
I don't know. Wait till the end of the season. We'll see. Maybe.
Do you guys play other sports too besides football, or is this mostly just football?
Matt does.
Yeah.
Oh, let's hear from Matt on this one then.
Yeah, I play lacrosse, and we were state champions last year in the B division.
Well, why don't you know, if you guys can tell me, we talked with the coach a little bit about some of the pressures. There are a lot of pressures on you playing football from your classmates. I mean, the coach has set a pretty good record here. I think the people of Newtown probably expect winners now. Is there a lot of pressure on you for that?
Yeah, I think since we've been winning, the past 3 years, I think our class, our senior class, like the captains and the rest of the seniors, are gonna have a lot of pressure on them, and it'll be on our shoulders if we were, we don't want our year to be known as the year that we lost and not go to the WCCs and state championship.
How does it look for from your perspective of the team, the coaches?
I think we're looking good. I think definitely if we work hard and.
Yeah, we're really conditioned with the sprints we do and the training we do for the games. So
Tell me what a typical workout day is like.
well, we have our Green Bays and
Or Green Bays are, what's that?
special sprints that we run that to get you in shape, and we just build up each week, and we try our hardest, and they work.
It's not a favorite day on Tuesdays when we run those. What are we up to now? About 400s,
Yeah.
580s. Okay.
Each day, do you try to work on a different component, or?
Yeah, we
strength of-
stress, our high school team is probably a little bit smaller than most average high school teams, with the exception of Ryan and John, who are both well over 200 pounds. You take a look at Matt, and Matt is not your typical high school running back. But what we lack in size, we make up with endurance and we make up in strength. And we feel that conditioning is going to win a lot of football games for us, just for the fact that we will hopefully wear people down, and if the game is close, then we're going to be there in the fourth quarter while they're sucking for a win. We're going to be coming right at them.
You guys hit the weight room all summer, or
Yeah.
do you try to stay in condition? Do you provide like a program for them to try to stay in condition, or?
Yeah, during the off season, during the school year, they're in there just about every day after school. We have a weight room down there which has been growing every year. I don't know if the community, I'm sure the community is aware of our car washes that we have, and right now, in my 3 years there, we've put just about $5,000 worth of equipment into a room which was basically bare, and it's one of the better weight rooms I think around, and the boys do use it well during the off season, and we're fortunate that the Parks and Rec have been running a weight program there during the summer, so they get a chance to go in there also.
Now, you guys have been with Coach Zito your whole 4 years, right? You haven't known another coach, but you must have been watching the Newtown football program before he got there. Tell me a little bit what it's like playing for him, and if you saw a difference when he came and took over the program.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a smaller kid, I went and watched the games, and I always see him lose, and I don't know, I didn't see really a team unity, and I feel when Coach got here, there's just turned everything around. I mean, it's just great. I mean, he made the team come together as a family, and we all work hard, we all dedicate ourselves. I just feel it's great.
Well, you get 10 more extra minutes a game, right?
And I wasn't here freshman year. I didn't know how the team was and
Did
stuff.
you transfer in, or?
Yeah, from Virginia, and just the fact that we won states and stuff like that, Newtown, and the lacrosse team was good. That made me decide to go to this school and stuff.
Let me ask you this question. You were here when you won the state championship, right?
Not freshman year, but
Oh, okay.
last year. Yeah.
Last year. What's it feel like winning a state championship? Can you tell the people out there?
You have to win one to know how it feels.
Feels that good, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And John, do you want to talk about what it's like playing for Coach? Or?
I used to watch the games too when he wasn't the coach, and they didn't have too many good seasons. And then when he got here, just started winning. And it just looks good from now on, as long as he's here.
It's got to tell you something.
I think one of the you know, people always ask me what the success, why did things turn around so quickly. I think one of the biggest things that we got across to these guys here and the guys who have played for me, who have graduated, is that they believe in themselves and they believe in each other. We always say that we're going to depend on each other all the way, you know, all the way through the season, and not to let each other down. And we all believe in that, and I think that adds to our strength. And you know, as I say, we made, you know, you look at how many people have gone on to play the higher level of college football, graduated from Newtown, and there's not that many. So we don't have outstanding football players, but we have outstanding people at Newtown, and I think that's what makes us tick.
What kind of plays do you draw for them? How simplistic or complicated do you try to get the plays to be? Or is it
That's a standing joke that we have. We're out there on the field, and I guess today might have been a typical day. We always try to get done at a certain time, and whenever we run offensive plays, whenever that day comes around, we're always on the field like an extra half hour. It seems like, I guess. That's what they tell me. It only seems like a couple minutes, but we try not to make them too complex. I know they can tell you maybe they are, but it seems to me that we're starting to catch on. For the younger guys, the sophomores who are with us for the first time, they seem to be very confused. But these guys, they get it down after a year or so with the system, and no problem.
What's the difference between being a freshman or a sophomore and now being a senior? Are you guys expected to? Do you feel the leadership load on you, but do you understand the system a little bit more now, or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's a leadership role, especially when, we're captains, and I don't think as a lineman, the plays are like, there's the blocking are like, there's not too many different scheme of blockings, So it's not, I've learned to play like the blocking a lot better since I was a freshman.
Ryan was a freshman, he was a fullback. He kind of outgrew that. We moved him up front and put him number 70.
Now, do you miss holding that ball every once in a while and plowing through, or you?
I think I did my sophomore year, but not anymore.
Yeah.
I love the ball, but.
Now, what do you guys think as far as the leadership role? Why don't you give me the mic there?
Yeah, there's a lot of leadership when you're captain, but the whole team, we're just 40 as one, and we're all try to be leaders, everyone down the line.
Don't you ever get the feeling when you're in the huddle there and you see some freshman's eyes starting to glaze over and you're calling the play, or what's your reaction then?
Yeah, you try to help them out because the system's, kind of hard, but we have a lot of calls on the line to make it easier. So,
And
once you're a
Matt,
senior.
what's your feeling about being one of the tri-captains and shouldering the leadership burden?
Just trying to be a role model and stuff, and we hope to get as many kids out as we can, and the special ones stay and they learn what they have to do, to win a state championship.
One of the things which we haven't mentioned here, which I think does contribute to our success, is our coaching staff. And I like to mention them now because these guys have probably do as much work as I do, and sometimes more than I do. And they never get a chance to go on TV, and they never get a chance to get their names in the newspapers. Very fortunate to have two of my coaches who were former players of mine when I was coaching down at St. Joe's. So I guess I am getting a little old. John Murphy is my defensive coordinator, and Chris Fasano is my line coach. And those two guys are pretty special to me, as I say, because I did coach them back when they were in high school. And also Jim Barrell is one of our coaches also. And these guys have been with me for the last 4 years. And, I think that having them stabilize our program is extremely important. And
What are their responsibilities when you say they do as much work?
well, take for instance John Murphy, who's our defensive coordinator. He's in charge of the defense, and for our opening game against Wilby, he'll have the entire defensive scheme ready to go, defensive play sheet, whatever you want to call it. That's his responsibility, and he calls every single play. So if they score, I go right down to Coach Murphy and say, what's going on here? But he does a very good job, and he's a very enthusiastic coach, as these guys can tell you. And he's not afraid to get his shirt dirty out there.
Let me ask you guys one more question. Do you each have an unforgettable moment from Newtown football? I mean, was it winning the state championship, or one certain player, or one you got hit one time that you couldn't help but remember it?
No, I definitely think it was the most memorable moment was state championship. It's no feeling like that, you know. It's just the best feeling you can get. Just after the
Best feeling of that game was getting on the bus afterwards. The temperature that night was, I don't know, had to be about 19, 18 degrees, and there was about a 50-mile-an-hour wind whipping through West Haven Stadium down there that night. But, you know, these guys are right. You know, that's a feeling that it's really difficult to explain. But for all the hard work that these guys do, and they work real hard. You know, we tell them that if it was an easy game, we'd have 100 people out for the football team.
So how many people do you have try out for the team each year?
Well, this year our numbers are the highest since I've been there. We have 44 people on the combined JV varsity.
How many tried out? Does everybody who try out make it, or?
If they can stay with us, they're on the team. We get them a uniform, and we'll work with them. If they want to work, we'll work with them, and hopefully, you know, dividends will pay off.
Now, who's the JV coach too? Do you have a?
Yeah, both of our assistants do that. John Murphy, Chris Fasano, and also Jim Barrow. The three of them will run both. We include our JVs with our varsity in our practice time, so we're all together as one.
Okay. Do you guys have a famous practice story at all, or any unforgettable moments in practice, or you know, what do you look at practice? How tough is it?
You know, it's not that tough. When we were like sophomores.
Well, I think this is going to come back to haunt you. Know, if you're saying it's not this tough, he's remembering this one.
A couple more Green Bays.
It, you know, it felt really hard. You know, we weren't like used to it. In the past 3 years, we've been getting used to the system and all the running we do. It's not easy, but get used to it.
We've had a couple comments from people who have gone on to play in college, and they say that the running that we've done in our conditioning at Newtown is a lot harder than what they are experiencing in college.
Does having won the state championship, does that tell you about make you try harder and train harder because you want to get back there, knowing what it's like to win the state championship? Matt, do you want to?
Yeah, well, everybody has a shot at us, you know, and if they win against us, then that's going to be their state championship, and that's not going to happen. We don't want that to happen at all. So we're going to do anything.
For them, every game is a
state championship that they play against us. We don't want that to happen.
How about you guys, knowing what it's like to be back in the state championship? Does that motivate you?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does. But even if we didn't make it to the state championship, I think I would want to have a successful season, you know, and wanting to get to that state championship. I mean, it's not just because we got there, just the desire to win.
Let me sort of finish with you guys on sort of a serious note too about the question I had asked the coach about the steroids. Is there pressure on you guys or on your teammates or to use some of this stuff to bulk up and get better? Or not necessarily your teammates, but you know, your age group, people playing high school football.
I don't feel there's a steroid problem in Newtown. Specifically, I don't think there's any pressure.
No, no one pressures us or anything. As long as you lift, you know, constantly, and get strong enough doing that, you don't got to take steroids.
You'll get there.
You'll get there eventually.
Well, I'll make you, Matt, do you want to say something on this?
Yeah, well, you can't cheat yourself, you know.
That's a good point.
That's cheating yourself if you do that.
Yeah.
That's fake.
I'll give you guys the chance to become, you know, prognosticators. You guys got to pick on who's going to win the Super Bowl. I know we're many months away.
I'll take the 49ers. Whatever you're gonna do.
I got to go with my team, the Dolphins.
Matt, final word on it.
Washington.
Coach, you want a word? We're going to see in a couple months now.
Patriots.
All right, I like that.
Long shot.
Well, that about wraps it up for tonight. I'd like to thank the Tri-Captains for being here and Coach Bob Zito. My name is Gary Fetzer. If you have any comments or questions, any suggestions, please write me care of Dateline Newtown, Box 648. Last thing I'd like to say is good night and have a good day. Thank you.